for them for the course coming up. Time allowed of 74 seconds, and with a field of over 30 in this class, we're going to see around 35 coming up for the big Grand Prix here tonight. Wonderful to be back here in San Miguel de Allende, this World Heritage Site, the town just across from us, and what a special place it is indeed on the grass here. Alongside me is Hannah Robson. We're going to talk facts and figures on those in the class. So let's start off with Arturo Parada and Bacot, as I say, going to be the first of those to go, especially for home nation Mexico, been doing so well here this week. They start over the Tommy Oxa, 145 at 150, and then to a big vertical getting in early on there at 158, going to come up on the 5 strides to the Aero Mexico Oxa 150, 160 here. Into the guitar double, a 2-strider, and then takes them on the 4-stride line to the Benorti Oxa. A little bit narrowed up there for that one at 1m20. Roll back here to the vertical at fence 6. Again, this is up at 1m60 at the maximum height there, and then he's mixing it up with the triple bar at 7 from that point of view. And up to the Oxa from that point. Oh, a related distance there on the 7 strides to the double, the Day of the Dead triple combination, in fact, as they go 1 stride on the way out, just drops down short onto the back bar there. This is going to be one that certainly opens the eyes here, as well as the wall roll back to this big 160 full up to height wall. And then on the 4 strides up to the Nieto Oxa. This will take them into the final line, the Visa vertical, and then just on the forward 5 up to the last. Puts them on the 4 at 77.74. Time allowed of 74 seconds as was put. So there'll be a little bit of time to put into the equation there as well. But again, judges could watch that as the first away. But Arturo getting us underway. Hannah, from his point of view, the Mexicans have started off well this week. Arturo, they're just with the 4 faults.
Yeah, it is a good start. The Mexican riders have had some fantastic performances already this week, and we've seen a number of new faces from Mexico heading on to our Major League show jumping teams, which is really exciting addition as we have just passed the halfway point and past the mid-season transfer window. But we have got an amazing international lineup of horses and riders, and just the 1 fence down for our first rider out, and it will be interesting to see how many of this group of 37 coming forward we have through to the jump off. Absolutely, and
joining the tour for that second stage, the rider who's been up in the world's top 10, Dara Kenny, now a rock star for the Irish Star, 9-year-old by E-Star, which goes back to the breeding of Big Star, which Nick Skelton, of course, rode to that Olympic gold. Generations carry on, and Dara on the next of those on this Super Grey that's getting an outing into, I think, their first 5-star here this week. Dara coming into the second half of the season for the events. Mexico, of course, we're here in Atomi. Then we head to Monterrey for 2 weeks in a week and a half's time, and a lovely jump over the first. But in terms of Rockstar, again, as I say, 9-year-old, not done too much yet.
No, hasn't done too much yet, and this is a horse that Dara's been riding since June of this year. Formerly, this horse was ridden by Daniel Seifert of the USA. He's had this horse in some really good competitions, a couple of 5-stars actually, in Valkenswaard and Saint-Tropez. In Valkenswaard, he was 3rd in a 5-star speed class with this horse. That was in August, back in the summer. And then he was in Saint-Tropez in October, so just a little bit earlier on this month, for a 3rd place again in another 5-star speed class. He also rode this horse in the VBR Prize, one of those top 5-star competitions at Aachen back in July, and was 4th there. So he's done quite a few speed classes with this horse, which if they can get through to the jump-off, and sadly they won't be, but certainly when they are jumping the clears and get through to the jump-off, I'm sure there'd be a combination to watch.
Yeah, going to be very much one to keep in the notebooks, to say, over the next few weeks as well. We'll see them down in Monterrey, 2 weeks in Monterrey as well, which give them a greater chance to get acclimatised to that fabulous event there. Just on the 4, going to come home over the time allowed as well of 76.38, so puts 3 time on there. As say, we'll see whether our judges stay with that, with the Heathman Farm at 9-year-old there for Dara Kenny. They can watch 3 and decide whether to extend that, leave it as it is, depending on what the course designer will be up with them as well, deciding whether they're happy with that. But 2 younger horses coming into that as well. So Well, I call an 11-year-old, but a little less experienced into the 5 stars, 9-year-old there with, of course, Dara Kenny. As I mentioned there, Mexico have gone pretty well this week. Let's review a little bit of that as we go on to next Mexican rider, Simon Isri and Ferrari VDL, with, of course, we've already seen the wins on the first day. For Mexico is one in the big class there. We saw last night the team class with Eugenio Garza bringing it home for Helios. It's trending in the right direction for the home team. Simon Nisri being behind the production, but a lot of very good horses. Ferrari VDL here, the 12-year-old Bicard Enter, the Dutch bred horse for the Mexican rider. Again, this will be a good test for them.
Yes, it really will. As you say, the Mexican riders are very much on form as a nation here and riding on home turf. Simon has some really good experience under his belt. Ferrari is one that he's had just for a couple of months, actually. But, of course, Simon himself is a former World Cup final rider and Pan American Games rider in the past. This is a horse that was developed by Zoe Osterhoff, the German rider, who is really quite known for bringing on and developing young horses to a very high level. She had a number of horses last year that she developed right up to the 5-star level before then passing the reins on to some other riders. I believe this year she has a few younger horses coming up and potentially bringing those to the top level next year, which is of course how this works. And now Simon has this horse right at the top of the sport. Horses, though, as I say, experienced at the 5-star level. And Simon competed this horse in a 5-star Grand Prix at Quapex Pan last month for a 15th place finish.
Yeah, come nicely through the triple combination. This is certainly looking like one to watch. As I say, we're going to keep an eye on that time as well. Roll back to this 160 wall. Came so nicely up there from the triple bar on the 7 up to the Oxen. Now down to this final line here. As I say, just got to move up on the 5 here as they get there. Well, it may even squeeze it down to the 6. And gets it tight for them, unfortunately, and it's going to be time as well. Finishes on a score of 7, so well, and time of 80.34, so that's going to be 8 for them plus 3 time. From that point of view, no, that's going to be 7 time to come into that, so that does put them on the 11. There we go, 80.34. That was a 7 first. We bounced in the 4. There we go. We get to 11. They love testing my maths.
Always good to be just on top of the numbers.
Okay, they've watched 3. Let's see whether they're staying with the time allowed as Tali de Jong heads into the arena on a Heavenly Star. Might be a little bit of discussion going on there. See what they're going to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, after some deliberation, it has been decided that the time allowed will be changed from 74 to 77 seconds.
Okay, so time allowed extended to 77 seconds from that point of view. Tali de Jong, Heavenly Star, what have we got on her?
Well, you know, Tali's been going really well with a couple of horses. She had this horse in the 5-star Grand Prix at Traverse City. And she's ridden this horse in the Nations Cup final competitions in Kronenberg. That was in September of last year. But she's jumped 2 5-star Grand Prix already with this horse, both at the Major League shows, one in Vancouver and one at Traverse City. She had a few fences down in Traverse City, but certainly had a good show there.
So for the young Californian rider, unfortunately, first fence coming down for them. And for Tali, like I say, moving up into these 5 stars now. So this is going to be some of the bigger tracks that she's jumped.
Yeah, she
move forward to the vertical.
Has also the horse Vaillant de Bellevue, who has also been going very well for her at the 5-star level.
There's Plank here. Going to be one to keep an eye on, but they handle them so well these days. They're well used to all the tricks of the course designing trade.
And also, you know, we've been talking a little bit earlier this week about the way that the course designers using the well, not undulations, but the slight slopes of this arena. The gradient, yes. And I think especially with the plank fence, you know, to have that on a slightly...
Ooh, keep coming, keep coming. There we go. Just going to have that back bar just a little steady in the first part there. On the 12 at the moment for Tali, as I say, moving up into the 5 stars. So just a little look, and it is quite a starey wall to come at.
Yeah, it's very, very eye-catching. So many of these fences in this arena are so beautifully designed, aren't they?
Yeah. And going to get across the line on 80.46. So she's got a bit of time to pick up as well. But as I say, it's another step on the ladder through the 5 stars for Tali de Jong and Heavenly Star. Young rider coming through, which is great to see. She's going to finish on 16 this time, but I know one's going to keep progressing through these major Grand Prix. On we go to Juan Carlos Martin del Campo and Dimitri. This is going to be the next for Mexico, 14-year-old by up to date. And as I say, for those so far scores, 4 is the best one from Darragh Kenny and Rockstar. He was 76.38 because, of course, his time was then adjusted with the 77 seconds. Arturo Parada was then put to the 5. Simon Nisri dropped to the 8. And Talia de Jong we saw anyway completing on the 16. So she still had time faults to add in there, 80.46. Juan Carlos.
Yeah, this is actually quite a long-term partnership. He has 2 horses here this week, both of whom he has quite a long-term partnership with. He jumped this horse in Monterey last year at the Major League show for 16th in the 5-star Grand Prix and 9th in the 5-star earlier jump-off class that week. He also did the 5-star Grand Prix at Traverse City last year. This is, though, the first time we've seen him on the circuit in 2022. He also jumped here at this very venue, though, in January of this year, but jumped in the 2-star competitions for a 4th place and a 9th place. So they know the arena, they've seen this grass field before, and they've really, you know, they've had the opportunity earlier in the week to get a bit of a feel for it here again, but they performed well here before, and that's certainly something that's got to help them. Yeah,
got them going after that. Triple bar there, got high to it, but and then is just not right coming into the triple combination, I'm afraid. Just couldn't quite see from this angle. Looked to get very tight to that first part, though, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, I think
a little miscommunication.
Just didn't quite have enough room, and I think the horse was just a little bit surprised by perhaps finding the 3 fences in front of him.
There you go. It's a long line coming down there. So the, of course, rebuild. Bell will go in second, 4 on the scoreboard.
It is absolutely beautiful footing in this arena, though. It's something that quite a few people have commented on. I think earlier, Stephen, you said it was almost like a lawn in there.
It is like, it's not almost like a lawn, it's very, I'd love my lawn to look like this. He's going to retire. There we go. Just going to quietly pop around that vertical there. So deciding to retire there for Juan Carlos Martin del Campo. And so popping back round for that retirement. All done and dusted for him as not attempting the triple combination. So Darragh Kenny still the best score on the board at the moment at the 4 at this stage. Luis Pedro Birroben of Argentina. Chaco Bumpy also jumped to the team competition yesterday as well. 12-year-old Oldenburg by Chaco Blue. I've seen this horse many times, especially down in Florida too, go very well in some big Grand Prix. Got the experience.
Yeah, they absolutely have. As you say, they've got plenty of experience in lots of good competitions. They've been in the top 10 in their last 3 starts. One of those was 7th place finish in the 5-star Grand Prix at Saugerties. That was their most recent competition. They also won a 3-star Grand Prix at Lexington. That was in May with a double clear. But we also saw this combination last year here at San Miguel de Allende. Louis jumped this horse on the Crusaders team, helping them to a 4th place finish. He was the rider chosen for the medal jump off, and he jumped clear in the first round and then just clipped one pole that just put him a fraction behind the time of Paul O'Shea, who got a 3rd place for Eye Candy when Crusaders were 4th here last year.
Good so far. May just be a fraction steady. We'll see in the final reckoning. Unfortunately, isn't quite right for where they want to be at the plank. Comes up short there, just a little bit unbalanced coming into that. Oh, there we go. Stretches out. On the 4 at the moment, say 4 the best score on the board. He needs to get a little bit of full momentum coming in here, because here we go. Go on. There we go. Gets over the last part. Now, got a chance to balance back up on the turn here, back to the wall. On the 8 at the moment. Time-wise, I think that might just creep in there, just trying to steady them off. Just a little out of rhythm as they go, finishing on the 8. 75.748 there for Luis Pedro Birben and Chaco Bumpy. So still the best score on the board is the 4 at the moment from Dara Kenny and Rockstar as it stands at this stage. And may have a couple of little moves around in the order. We're going to go to Shane Sweetnam now, in fact. Shane with Namaste.
Welcoming our next rider here to the course.
9-year-old Belgian-bred ride for the winner of the American Gold Cup. That was with James Can Cruz. Been making the move across to Europe for some shows, of course, notably the Irish Home International Show of Dublin. Finished top 3 in the Grand Prix there, then back across to that American Gold Cup in Traverse City. And Namaste is a horse that's been using a little bit more into the major leagues. Again, getting the horse Grand Prix experience to move up alongside the rest. James Can Cruz, of course, is also a younger horse at 9 years of age, but gone so sweetly so far. And Shane Sweetnam, the very capable hands of this European gold medalist.
Yeah, he's got some amazing horses in his string at the moment. James Can Cruz is certainly one of the most exciting horses, I think considered by many people one of the most exciting horses on the circuit at the moment, doing so fantastically at just 9 years old. Birdie Dutho is the horse he rode in last night's team competition, and Namaste van het Ekveld is, as you say, one that's really coming up with him. He jumped this horse in the 5-star speed class at the LGCT New York show for a 10th place. And then he also rode this horse in our 5-star Major League Show Jumping Grand Prix in Ottawa for a 9th place finish. That was in August, and it's a horse that he's just had since June of this year. So they've been going really well, considering they've only been competing together for a few months, really. The horse was previously ridden by Nick Vrins of Belgium, and they are just over 50% of the time clear this year so far. Oh, that was quite a late falling pole, just a slight touch at the B element in the triple. You know, this is quite an interesting point as well, because we've had a couple of quite technical lines, and then they've got to make that swing back round to the wall. And as you were saying, it's really very eye-catching, so they need to allow enough time to allow the horse to sort of take it in, but not waste time either.
Opens up down there to finish on the 8 in the end, 75.36 for Shane Sweetnam. 3rd spot at the moment with Namaste, so a little less experienced at the 5 stars, but certainly getting plenty on their list so far this season, with a good range of arenas, and out here under the lights as part of the events here in Atomi. Erin Ballard, Gakia. Good experience combination, been together a couple of seasons. The 11-year-old by Spartacus that she's ridden right the way through to top level. Of course, she was on the World Championship team for Canada in Herning in Denmark this year as well. Highly capable. Be really interested to see how she tackles this one. To say just 4 from Dara Kenny and Rockstar is the best at the moment. Yeah,
it'd be really interesting to see how she tackles this, because this is the horse that she took to the World Championships in Herning. And she's had a lot of 5-star Grand Prix starts with this horse already this year, one being in New York in September, one being in Rome at the Piazza di Siena in May, had 3 down there, one being Miami Beach in April, just had a couple of fences down there, and then here at San Miguel last year, she just had 1 fence down in the 5-star Major League Grand Prix for a 19th place finish, but just 1 fence down. So I should think actually the way that we're seeing this competition going, 1 fence down might well have you considerably higher than 19th place this time around. Just taking another look at the wall, and you can really see there the detail on that, which is pretty incredible. So lovely to have so many of these fences in the arena, so beautifully decorated and so in keeping with where we are. One of the fences in the arena is designed to look like the famous church here, La Parroquia, and earlier on we saw that being hand-painted. Just the level of effort that goes into presenting this competition is just so impressive. But this is the first of the World Championships combinations that we have coming forward here. We've got a few World Championship riders and some riding some less experienced horses, but this is certainly one with all the experience.
Yeah, just unfortunately a rail down there. Erin just having to get the engine going a little bit more now across the centre. This sole fence that can just catch you out. She handles it well. Now into this triple combination. Again, just got to keep the momentum going. Goes through there pretty nicely indeed. So they also will start to get the idea that some will be thinking about the 4 about moving up the time a little bit, because that might will still get you in the prize money. Yet we'll see how that pans out in the overall class. It may not, but so they may be a little steady. They're in for a little bit of time faults, I'm afraid, for Erin and Kia. Just a little look around there. It is finishing on a score of 6-2 to add for time at 78.08 for Erin Ballard and Kia this time. So they will go into third as it stands. Dara Kenny and Rockstar still the best on the board at the moment on the 4. Federico Fernandez, Davidoff. What a lovely guy to have in the class. Top class rider from Olympic Games on multiple occasions, and actually riding horse by Olympic Fire. The 13-year-old German-bred horse for Federico. And for him, terrific performances here in Mexico and globally. He's got good head on the shoulders here to take this on.
Yeah, he has indeed. You know, you just touch on the fact that he's competed at Olympic Games, 3 in fact, spanning 2004 to 2012. He's also competed at 7 World Championships, 1 World Cup final. That was back in 1989, so shows you what longevity his career has had. Also 3 Pan-American Games on his CV as well. Davidoff is a pretty experienced ride for him. Just earlier this month, he was 9th in the 4-star Grand Prix at Quapexpan with this horse, but he's also jumped in the 5 stars at the Dublin Horse Show that you mentioned earlier.
Mexico won the Nations Cup at Dublin before now.
Yes,
that was quite the celebration.
Yes, I can imagine.
Federico still on the clear at the moment. Clears the plank okay. Down now to this triple bar. Should come up here on the 7 strides. Just getting nicely set for it. Little look at it.
He was actually 4th in the 5-star Grand Prix here last year. Got into the jump off and then just had 1 down in the jump off to finish 4th.
Still looking good. This would certainly get the crowd going if he can get home with the clear. Just might again want to keep an eye on the time. Time allowed of 77 seconds. He's got 7, 6. It's going to 4, 3. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a lovely round, but just a little steady there. 78.09. Nicely done. Plotted well by Federico Fernandez and Davidoff. It is the best score in the clubhouse so far. Finishes on the 2, but it's just a tough one. Just taking their care on the odd corner there. Just cost you seconds. But very, very nicely done. Well done, Federico. But it is going to be 2 for time. Where are we going now? Vanessa Mannix, 9-year-old, Kingston. The British-bred horse by Ustinov, owned by herself as well. And for her, from Calgary, Alberta. It's been a good run-up in Canada in the recent times. Of course, a lot of that happening in Thunderbird, and last season too into World Cups there as well. Long-time training with Connor Swell, who's also with us, of course, the world number 5. And Kingston coming in. Katinka's off on the ride she takes into the Grand Prix, so a little bit of a change around today.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a change around. Kingston is also the horse, though, that she rode in the Major League 5-star Grand Prix in Vancouver at Thunderbird Show Park that you mentioned there. Got through into the jump-off and then just had 1 fence down for an 8th place in that competition. But she's jumped this horse quite extensively at Spruce Meadows over the summer months between June and September, and also jumped in a 3-star Grand Prix at Vancouver last month for an 11th place finish. This is one that she's had since March of this year, so stepped it right up to the top level really quite quickly. This horse was previously ridden by Harold Megai of Ireland.
Looking confident so far for Vanessa.
But nice to see her have a few rides right at the top level.
Yeah, got a good turn in there to save us a little bit of time as she could to the plank. Again, just wants to get herself far enough away from this triple bar. You get up and then you actually drop down quite sharply after a triple bar. Everyone thinks you're going to go long distance, but actually come down a little bit sharper to it. Still good. Just head up coming in here. Just keep the concentration coming in.
Jumped out of there nicely.
Yeah. Now again, this is the turn where he's just giving you a chance to drift if you're not careful. She did that pretty well. So coming, it's getting a little bit tight to that oxo. Right, keep coming because it's going to be close. Time allowed of 77 seconds, and it's going to be extremely close. There we go, 76.72. Vanessa Mannix and Kingston will deliver clear round number 1 in this GNP Seguros Grand Prix here tonight in Atomi. Very nicely done on the 9-year-old. Great experience there for the two. As you can see, beaming smiles and a happy enough grey as well. Trots along. Nessa gives us number 1 on the scoreboard for the clears here tonight. Good stuff.
Yeah, lovely round. Lovely to see her. Absolutely thrilled with that as well. You know, she's our first clear out of 10 competitors.
Okay, Kyle King and Chess, Belgian-bred ride by Bufero Van Het Panashov for Kyle, horse that came into his string this season with a group of riders that have been involved in this one, from Kent Farrington through to Nick Gelajoya, who's the most recent rider. Then handing over the ride to Kyle gives him a little bit more strength as well into these big Grand Prix, because he really did have a good run last year, got on the podium in a number of the big classes, especially into the 5-star Grand Prix in Traverse City. Finished well in California last year too. Had a really good one. Shot up those world rankings on some great performances. Now, with Chess, has been really building up this partnership. Just a little steady over the vertical. Just needs a little bit of a push there, but has got the scope to get across that Aero Mexico fence.
Yeah, the horse does actually have the scope, and it's quite an athletic horse. It's one that just needs to be ridden in a quite specific way, I think, and they've really started to gel their partnership together. He jumped this horse in the 5-star Grand Prix at Traverse City, but unfortunately things didn't really go their way there. They had quite a few fences down, 6 in fact. However, then earlier on in the summer, they also jumped the 5-star Grand Prix at Traverse City at our first visit there, to just have 2 down.
Just a little steady here, get across that back bar. No, it doesn't, unfortunately. You could see he was just a little bit of hesitation in that early part, and it just flicks away a brick off the top of the wall. Oh, and unfortunately, just stuttering a bit now. And a little bit of what came out earlier in the year as well. Loop back here. Let's just finish with a good confident jump at the last. Fire them up and forward. There we go. Nicely done. It's going to be time to add on there as well. 88.27. Total of 28 overall for Kyle King and the 11-year-old Chess. It was a solid start, but just didn't quite work out this time. Vanessa Mannix gives us the only clear so far of this GNP Seguros Grand Prix, but a lot to come into this yet. One of those should be, Nick Delajoy and Nick Pizarro now. Nick Delajoy, of course, is the rider of the previous one. In previous times, it is on to Nick Pizarro now. Oak Grove's Enkidu, the 11-year-old for the Mexican Olympian. Good chance to put his stamp on this class.
Yeah, it is indeed. He actually rode last year on the Atomi Warriors team and rode this horse for that team at this very venue. They finished a little way down the rankings, but that was the horse that he chose for that competition. Also jumped this horse in the Nations Cup at Barcelona. Nations Cup final, and
well, they won the Challenge Cup, of course.
Yes, exactly. And then had a really good double clear and a 4th place in a 2-star Grand Prix at Valkenswaard in the summer as well. 12th in the 5-star Grand Prix at Quapexpan, that was in March. Last year with this horse, he only jumped clear rounds, so that's a pretty impressive record.
That's handy.
Very handy.
That's handy.
Let's hope they can do it again. Giving the that Banorte Oxa that amount of height, you might think that it might be possible.
Still good so far from Nick. Well, but we've always got a bit of go going on. Up there now, whoa. Steady, steady, steady.
Bit of a wobble coming in there.
Still good, sits up.
You can see
just getting a bit strong around here.
Yeah, you can see on his face as he comes around the corner, he's struggling to hold this horse a little bit, but really got the talent.
Coming close. As you say, it's a clear round machine. Can you get to the last? It's a little bit of flap to it, but it works. 75-77, a shake of the reins from Nick Pizarro and Oak Grove's Enkidu to give us the second clear round of the class so far. Very nice done. So Mexico in the mix, as are Canada. Elation in the arena. Excited about that one. And of course it was excitement last night when Mexican rider Eugenio Garza got the job done for the team competition as well. Heading on to Juan Ortiz now. Kinky Boy is the name of the horse. 12-year-old for the Blue Trim LLC for Juan. Represents Venezuela, based up in the US. As he has been for some time now. Kinky Boy had some good outings. He's had some nice rounds, as well as he's been developing vintage as well here too.
Yeah, he has. Vintage is the horse that he competed in our winning round competition earlier on today. Kinky Boy is perhaps at the top of his string at the moment, and they've had a lot of good performances in the 5-star Grand Prix. They've always been, you know, there or thereabouts, and when he's had fences down in the Grand Prix, it's just been really quite unlucky things. He's jumped this horse at pretty much all of our legs so far. And, you know, it's this kind of arena that suits this horse much better because it is such a very large horse. It's actually nearly 18 hands high. Jumped this horse at the Major League Grand Prix in Traverse City in August and September. Had a couple of fences down, but then was fourth in a 2-star Grand Prix at Tryon this month earlier on. And they have absolutely been getting stronger and stronger together. It's just a bit unfortunate to have that early fence down. Yeah, and just clips another one there as well. This horse has been with Juan since February of this year. Was previously ridden by Frank Schutert, who had the horse in a lot of top 5-star level competitions. Over fences of 1.55 m in height, this pair are about 40% of the time clear. But again, Juan's really working very hard through the triple combination there, and especially around this turn, you know, yeah, just drifted out a little bit and just didn't feel that that was quite right, so he's opting to retire now. Yeah,
decided to retire there, Juan Ortiz and Kinky Boy this time around. So leaves us with the two clears at the moment, Vanessa Mannix and Kingston, and Nick Pizarro and Oak Grove's Enkidu, which just looks better and better all the time. It is on to, that looks like Jacob Pope, in fact, is coming in now. Highway FBH. 10-year-old by Plot Blue, recent winner this year in the Grand Prix in Traverse City. I think that was his first international Grand Prix win, but I mean, he's a man with super credentials now, and he's already put a lot behind him in his youth years, from those equitation classes through to the hunters, now more into the jumpers as well. And this was the horse he won in Traverse City on as well. Setting up nicely, and is a new signing into the, I think, Spy Coast team as well for this season, well, second end of the season too.
Yeah, really good signing for the Spy Coast Spies. He replaces Tanner Korotkin, so one talented young rider out and one talented young rider in for the Spy Coast Spies. And they are certainly going to be doing everything they can to get their way up the season leaderboard for the rest of the season, because they've been knocking on the door for so many times. Now 4 second place finishes for them as well. Highway FBH is quite a new ride for Jacob. It's one he's had since August of this year. Horse was previously ridden by Tanumara Makari briefly, and before that Max Nieberg of Germany. But with Jacob, this horse has really gelled very well, very quickly. He's been in the top 10 5 times out of 6 competitions that they've competed in together. And yes, as you say, won that Grand Prix. It was a 3-star Grand Prix at Traverse City. That was in September.
Just watching closely through here. A little bit of a late fall. It wasn't much of a touch, but it goes. I mean, he is stepping up into these 5 stars very, very swiftly. Unfortunately, just drags away a brick. He's the back end behind at the wall. Coming home on the 8. But he's jumping some of the... I think the 8, this is his first 5-star, I think, possibly. From that point of view, Jacob Pope and Highway FBH. On the 8, 74.84.
Yeah, a really impressive way to step up to the 5-star level. Not something that he's particularly experienced with, but absolutely shows all the potential, and I'm sure we'll be seeing him in plenty more 5-star competitions to come. Lovely to see some young riders as well alongside the more established names. Fantastic opportunity for them to be competing alongside each other. And especially for the younger riders to be stepping up to the 5-star Grand Prix level.
Yeah, Patricio Pascal and Seringat. Good experienced horse, good experienced rider here to take on this course. We'll see the 16-year-old by Chef Rouge. Patricio now to maybe match up with fellow Mexican rider Nicolas Pizarro and Groves Enkidu. Again, another has been on those teams. In fact, rode, I say Mexican teams, but also rode here last year as part of Major League Jumping. Came onto the team as a substitute, if you like, a local, as they can bring in for the team just on a couple of occasions. He came in, rode the winning round, job done, thank you very much. He's actually on the teams in full this year onto the Trailblazers into the second part of this season. But looking good so far.
Yeah, that winning round performance on the team competition last year was for the Crusaders. So interestingly, he's now on the Trailblazers. That's a shame.
Yeah, just gets high but not wide at that triple bar. Just, say, coming in here quick. He's just losing a bit of the control coming into this triple combination. Say, whoa. Let's get back down to, yeah, there we go. Very swiftly back down to the walk, but he knows not quite happening tonight. And so with a pat and a wave, we'll say thank you very much. And it looks like Patricio will retire there with Seringat. So 2 clears at the moment in this GNP Seguros Grand Prix. Nick Pizarro and Vanessa Mannix.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been the easiest of competitions so far. Faults all the way around the course. Actually still only 1 rider on 4 as well. Federico Fernandez, the only rider to jump clear, but with time. And yes, just the 2 clear rounds.
Lisa Gilbertson, Carlin van Vennehoff having her best season so far, and again can build on the fact she had a really good confident performance in the American Gold Cup a few weeks ago at the last stage of Major League Jumping in Traverse City. Carlin van Vennehoff, 12-year-old by Thunder van der Zoethoven for the rider from the Sweet Oak team. Of course, her own ownership of the family of Seabrook LLC of Lake Forest, Illinois. For the young American who has, again, relished this opportunity this year, using the teams to get up into these big 5 stars. Drop short at the Guitar Oxa. You can see how quickly eyes are across. Kevin Stowe de France is so renowned for doing that as well. You see him jumping a fence, he's got his eyes across the ring on where he's going.
Already preparing for the next fence.
to getting high there. She's okay, just gets momentum to get across the Oxer again. They've just got to push a little bit coming up that hillside as well, just up the gradient. Don't want to make it sound too big, but it's enough to have you to shift up the revs.
Yeah, it's a real shame that she's had a pole, because she's such a very talented rider, and Carlin is such a very talented horse for her as well. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, going to come home on the 8th fault, 73.41 for Lacey Gilbertson and Carlin van Vennehoff. So she will finish on the 8, goes into 7th place so far. Like I said a little bit earlier, those 4 faulters wanted to think about being in the money, because if you are on 4 faults at the moment, Dara Kenny, the sole one of those in 4th place. The 5 faulter, Dora Parada, it's a good mix across the board, but a couple down for a few. 5 of those are on the 8 faults. We've got a 6 faulter, a 5 faulter, a 4, a 2, and a couple of zeros. And looking to head on to the zeros is Andres Gonzalez Dufresne and Can T Resist. And this a 10-year-old by Kornet Obolensky, the Holsteiner for the Mexican rider. So a couple of different options are coming to that first, but unfortunately, either way, it leaves him just a bit too close to it.
Yeah, lots of places that the course designers are really asking a lot of questions, which is why we've had so many poles falling all the way around the course. All gets quite deep there to the Banorte Oxer as well, but gets away with it that time.
Yeah, for them, had a good run in getting experience at Spruce Meadows over the summer.
Yeah, jumped in the in both the 2-star and the 5 stars, a couple of 3 stars as well there. Quite interestingly, in the Spruce Meadows competitions, they actually picked up time penalties quite frequently. Jumped at the Nations Cup show in Vancouver as well in a couple of speed classes with this horse. Just slips over the wall there. Jumped this horse well at Quapex Pan. Oops.
Scrambles at the last. Yeah, unfortunately, it is going to be a score of 23 in all, 79.65. Again, not always as much experience for this pair into some of the 5-star Grand Prix. It's been a move up some of the 3 stars, etc. earlier on into this year, getting through some of those shows here in Mexico to get a little bit more experience, including at the Nations Cup show back in March. And say another learning curve throughout Spruce Meadows, and this will be another just another notch in the experience book. Carl Cook, Kalinka van Zorgvliet, winning combination at the Hampton Classic this year, back up in the United States, up in the Hamptons. Sydney Osby's 12-year-old by Thunder van der Zutova. So comes in with confidence here, and Kalinka be a little bit feisty, but harnesses all the energy, delivers in the moment.
Yeah, not the easiest of rides.
Come on, let's get into the stride. There we go.
But Carl quite often has these slightly hotter horses, and he certainly knows how to handle them very well. You know, as you say, winning the Hampton Classic not too long ago was a really impressive result for this pair. It's also been jumping in our 5-star Grand Prix at Traverse City in the summer. Just had one down there for 7th. It was a fast 4. And then again in Vancouver, just had one down in the 5-star Grand Prix there. So again, another combination who have had some very good results. They've had a major win, but when they don't, they're, you know, there or thereabouts. They've had, you know, a 4 faulting round is certainly not a bad score. This horse was also previously ridden by Lorenzo De Luca a few years ago.
Of Italy.
But he really rides this horse so quietly and really just sort of allows the horse to sort of do what it wants within reason. Very sensitively ridden, I think.
Little close there, still good, still keep coming. Time's okay, he's in a good rhythm here. There we go, it is going to be Carl Cook. He looks to the sky. I think there's a bit of work to do in there today. It is on a clear. Third of the clears goes to Carl Cook of the USA. So we've got Mexico, Canada and the USA all in the game so far.
Yeah, brilliantly done, and he looks absolutely thrilled with that. I mean, the horse is extremely talented, but it's certainly a combination that also relies on Carl's excellent and very sensitive riding as well.
It is on to Rodrigo Lambre now and Chiquitos PS. It is a 9-year-old again. A few 9-year-olds in the field we're here, and it's at 9 years of age. We might talk about a little less experience, but they're just getting into this 5-star level generally. Some are a bit more advanced. Some exceptions come in there. James Kung Cruz, big star from that point of view, but generally coming into the start of the 5-star level at 9 years of age. Rodrigo Lambre, lots of wins behind his name as well, of course. Have this pair got on?
Yeah, pretty well, actually. They've had quite a few top 10s and a couple of really good wins as well. They were 7th in the 4-star Grand Prix at Quapex-Pan earlier this month. And then last month, they also won a 2-star jump-off class at Puebla, and then won a 2-star class here at San Miguel in May as well. So they've done very well at that level.
Gets high, I think, dropped short onto that back bar there. Yes,
yeah.
He did, unfortunately.
Jumping a lot of these fences in quite a similar way, really. Not quite stretching over the distance. A bit better down there. But yeah, some really good results so far this year. Very exciting combination for the future again. As you say, it's a 9-year-old. These 9-year-old horses that perform exceptionally well, you can definitely see will be huge prospects for the future. And this is definitely one of them.
Finishing on a total of 5.77.26. It is 5 there for Rodrigo Lambre and Chiquitos PS for the Brazilian rider. So he goes in the money at the moment as well, goes into 6th place. Ardora Parada on the 5 goes into 7th place as it stands. 4 faults still in the money at this stage, Derek Kenny and Rodrigo Lambre. Federico Fernandez, solid round from him, but it was just the 2 time faults that will still see him into the money. Jacqueline Steffens and Freaky for Canada, the 12-year-old by Darko. In fact, that looks like we might go in a different direction. A couple little changes around in the order. No, Jacqueline, I think, on the far side there. Yes, there she is. The familiar hairstyle that she has. Plaited in.
Yes.
Ready to go.
Very neatly plaited.
Yeah.
But Jacqueline's been a great competitor on the Major League circuit last year and this year. She's been a great member of Team Eye Candy. And this horse is owned by Jacqueline and Team Eye Candy, and they've just formed such a great partnership. They're just so lovely to watch together. And they've had some fantastic results as well. She jumped this horse in the Nations Cup at Spruce Meadows last month. Also jumped in the 5-star Grand Prix of Ottawa. That was a really impressive performance. She was 3rd there when Kent Farrington won and Connor Swale was 2nd. So she just really holds her own with this horse, absolutely against some of the very best riders in the world. And she's jumped clear after clear after clear for Team Eye Candy, primarily with Freaky. Cat Ninja also her ride for the team a couple of times this year. Here last year, they were 12th in the 5-star Grand Prix. But I just think they become more and more consistent, and they certainly deliver the clears for the team.
All back here to that 160 wall. Looking good so far for Jacqueline Steffens of Canada. Just gets a little tight to that visa fence, moves it up, and gets there at 73.98. and nicely done from her. So finishing as the 4th of our clears so far in this GNP Seguros Grand Prix, the lovely setting of a Tommy, delight across her face. There we go. As you say, she was in the mix in Ottawa, and now again trending in the right direction. Another one that very much not even trending was the 4 combination here last year to win the Grand Prix. Ashley Bonds and Donatello, the 11-year-old Olympic rise for her by Diorado. Naturally fast, jumps in the team competition. She said to me a little bit earlier on, was again full of energy, ready to go again into the classes here today. So we'll see how they fare. Good luck to them. Always say naturally go fast. It's the way the horse goes, the way the two of them go. Really excited to watch. And saying if you come into a jump off, is one that's going to be putting you to the fire.
Yeah, so naturally quick, and interesting that she said the horse is full of energy today. It seems to be full of energy every day, with all that, with the pace that they have, and you know the power that they have. It's a very athletic horse. Of course, she spearheads the Helios team, who are just running away with things in the team competition. And yes, the winner of the 5-star Grand Prix here last year. She also competed with Donatello in the 5-star Grand Prix at Traverse City last month. Took this horse as well in a 5-star Grand Prix at Saugerties last month. Took the horse to Aachen as well this year. So really a lot of very impressive 5-star starts for 5-star Grand Prix with some fantastic results.
Yeah, get the shot. Good, just makes a little bit of a move. Now she's got this roll back to get them back nice and balanced on it. Oh, and unfortunately just moves forward as they come into that wall, has that down, and the next down as well. So it's going to be on the 8 for Ashley Bonds. It's actually 8 faults there, 72-78 with a brick out of the wall as well. Ashley Bonds and Donatello. A few faces making it into that jump off so far that are familiar to us, and a familiar face for those that follow the US sport is Lily Keenan. Not so familiar onto Major League, as she's a new signing for the second half of the season. Queensland E. Lily, the US rider, part of the World Championship team for the Americans this year.
Yeah, and a rider from the World Championships as well, though, when she rode Argan de Belliard at the World Championships this year. But she certainly had Queensland in a lot of top 5-star Grand Prix this year, including in Paris and in Valkenswaard, the LGCT shows, placing 3rd in both of those. Jumped in the Nations Cup at Dublin as well.
Yeah, she's just back from competing in Europe, as she does go over to the base there throughout the summer. Of course, those early months in America where it's so strong, in Wellington, Florida as well. And then heading over part of that campaign, of course, some of those Nations Cups in the build-up as part of their observation trials to get that squad together for the World Championship. Backs with Queensland E, former ride of Danny Waldman, of course.
And she's really targeted this horse at competitions right at the very top level. And so she's had 5 top 10s with this horse, but
another one drops short at the triple. Ooh. There, get the balance. Nicely done. Lily Keenan on the 4 at the moment. 4 puts you in the money. You would be around about 6th or 7th place as it stands at the moment. Dara Kenny, in fact, the only 4-faulter at this stage. There's a little bit of time on a few others. 8s from there on in. Still going to be, at the moment, walking away with some dollars from today's class. Lily Keenan and Queensland E just going to finish on the 4, 73.35. And therefore Puts her into 6th, actually, just ahead of Dara Kenny, just that little bit quick, well, a good couple of seconds quicker on the more experienced Queensland E, as opposed to the 9-year-old Rockstar with Dara Kenny. Alberto Sanchez Cazar already with a win behind him. Really good looking horse earlier on this week. Catova, the 13-year-old biker Toki for the Mexican rider, won the big jump off class on the first day. Again, will come in here with confidence, has a little look at the bright wall.
Yeah, we're seeing quite a lot of people coming in and having a look at the wall. It's really quite imposing looking and so brightly coloured. It really does catch the eye. But yeah, they look fantastic winning that jump-off class the other day. This is a horse he's had since March. It's previously ridden by Mario Onate and Rodrigo Lambre in the past. Mario, of course, from Mexico, and Rodrigo of Brazil.
Mario, in fact, of course, owner of this horse as well.
This combination also jumped in the 4-star Grand Prix at Quapex Pan very recently for 10th place. And they were also 5th in a 3-star jump-off class at Spruce Meadows. So, you know, the success or the good rounds at the 5-star level or at the top level of the sport, certainly not an isolated event. Just didn't get the height over the plank there.
Just sitting on the edge at the moment for Alberto. Shame, because they went so nicely earlier on this week. I think they were going to be a big contender here. A little bit of a reach over the triple bar. Just again has an interesting action in front.
Yeah, really sort of straightens the legs out.
Not quite as far as
Shallow.
Yes, Chalu. That's what I was just trying to think of. Yeah. Could think of the rider, couldn't think of the horse. Just unfortunately tied up to the Visa vertical. On a score of 12 and a couple for time there as well. 78 at 54 for Alberto Sanchez Cazar and Catova. Will leave them on a score of 14, but does walk away with a win this week. I say we'll be having that 2-star Grand Prix tomorrow afternoon as well, 2:30 local time for that one. Nick Pizarro, Vanessa Mannix, Carl Cook and Jacqueline Stephens, the clears so far. Kaylin Campbell and Amir, the 13-year-old by Dubai for the SWS Training and Sales. Now, Californian-based Caitlin on the Roadrunners team, which is the home team for the Desert Horse Park. We'll be heading there in December. 2 weeks in the La Quinta sunshine.
Just when it's getting cold in other parts of the world.
I wasn't going to mention that, but yeah, I am on that plane.
Yeah, this is a horse that Caitlin's had since May, so they've had a few months together now. Previously ridden by Fabian Sejan of Argentina. And this horse has also been competed by Alberto Michan in the past as well. Came to our Toronto leg at Angelstone Tournaments to have a good double clear in the 5-star 2-phase competition. And this is the horse that went to the Tokyo Olympic Games with Fabian Sejan. And also he did the Nations Cup in Wellington with this horse. So very experienced horse, and Caitlin's now had a little over 6 months with the horse.
Was just having to do some work through there. Just ran out of steam coming out of the triple combination. And again, throws her a little bit further around the corner there. Now get the I was going to say we were almost down to a walk then. It was like, come on, get going again. But there just weren't the buttons weren't firing.
No, they just couldn't quite get the energy back up. I think the horse did very well just to have the one fence down in the triple actually as well, because you could see the hooves coming down almost sort of on independently, not in their pairs, coming through the middle of there.
A little bit sticky at the visa, but a more solid finish is going to mean time for them as well, as you say. Been together about half a season now. 25 will be the score, 93-64 for Caitlin Campbell and Amir this time. Where are we sitting? 4 clears at the moment.
Yeah, 4 out of... we're
I think it's going to be Francisco Pascal Vega. There we go. We're just doing a little change around in the order by that. Dominant 2000Z for the young Mexican.
Yeah, so this will be our 24th competitor, and as you say, only 4 clears. So it's a tough course. You know, we look at the sort of ratio of clears to number of starters, but here we're on 1 in 6 really, which would indicate that this is really a pretty tough course. Not many clears at all, and we have had problems all the way around the wall, causing a couple of problems, triple combination causing plenty, the plank as well, even some of the early fences and the final lines. It is absolutely all the way around. But again, really nice to see Francisco doing very well here as another of these Mexican riders who are doing so well here this week and really shaking up the team competitions as well. This horse is a 12-year-old now and is one that Francisco has been riding for some time really, back into 2021 after Paula Amilibia rode the horse in 2020. The horse has actually quite recently been ridden by Nikolai Hein Roos as well of Denmark, who actually competed the horse here at San Miguel in a couple of 2-star competitions. But in the last few months, Francisco has had 3 top 10 finishes with this horse, including a win in a 4-star jump-off class at Quapex Pan and a 2nd place in a 2-star 2-phase at Puebla. So some really nice results. So far for this combination. Oh, what a shame. Just takes the final fence as well.
16 jumping poles for Francisco Pascal Vega and dominant 2000Z.
Yeah, 16 for them. So still going to see the 4 clears at this point. Erin Davis Heineking is going to be coming up next. Erin with Leone, her well-proven partner, Grand Prix winning combination before now, the 13-year-old Oldenburg. Now, Erin coming back to the Major League Jumping, was on the teams last year as well, alongside husband Christian. And now coming into the second part of the season here for 2022. Leone, as I say, well-established partner here. Good, confident run should be from these two. We've had a little bit of break from the top flight, and now coming back into it.
Yeah, they have. Haven't had a huge number of starts this year yet. They've had 5 clears so far this year, which gives you a rate of about 1/3 of the time jumping clear. They were 6th in the 3-star Grand Prix at Traverse City. That was in August at our first visit there. And she also competed this horse in the 5-star Grand Prix here last year, as well as in Monterey as well. But yeah, just the double causing her a little bit of an issue. So, you know, as you say, quite an experienced combination. Plenty of oof, really nearly stood off there.
Exactly, plenty of oof.
Yes, but just really
gets off the ground well.
Yeah.
Little touch on the way into the triple combination. Just.
Yeah, just kicks one of those bricks out. They go down so easily, don't they? I mean, sometimes the walls really jump very well because they're so imposing. The horses give them a lot of height, but it's so easy to take the bricks out as well.
Finishes with a little bit of time as well, till it's 13:77.82, 13 there for Erin Davis-Heineken and Leone. So 13 from her. It's still holding at the 4 clears at this stage of competition. And now on to another young Mexican, again following in the family tradition, Patricio Pascal Poe, and Serrano, 19, just 19 years of age as well. So he's still in the teenage years, just a fine little walkthrough in the mind. Where are we going? Just like they do as the drivers around a Formula 1 track. You can see just right. Okay, we're going to do the 6 there and the 5 there, and then yeah, 1, 2, got it. Okay, ready.
In fact, didn't you tell me that he's just 2 days away from his 19th
He is,
birthday?
I think
So
it was
he's
2
just
yeah.
almost there.
Almost there. Almost there. Yeah. A little bit beyond the days when you're very young and you start going, I'm 18 years and 6 months or 9 months.
Yes.
Whatever it is. We're somewhat beyond that point.
He actually jumped
2
this
days away
horse. Yeah, speaking of the, you know, his age and the fact that he's obviously a very talented young rider. This is the horse that Patricio competed at the North American Youth Championships last year in the junior category. He got team 4th and individual 9th there.
Yeah, did very well there, and was riding Miss Michaels on that occasion, and of course before that into children's championships as well. But as I say, got all the experience of the family around him too. Serrano, 19, been moved up more into the bigger classes. Oh, as I look back, yeah. So if you Svensson, former rider of this, again, looking down, this is going to be one of the big. He did actually jump the 5-star Grand Prix in Jalapa at the Nations Cup there as well, but going into their second big 5-star Grand Prix for this rider. I think he might be, he's just looking behind. I don't know whether they lost a shoe or looks, just trying to see, looks as though they're both there, but he was looking back as if something wasn't quite right. So he's going to head on out. And Jordan Coyle going to head on in. And Jordan, after success going so well in our previous class earlier on to the afternoon into the winning round there, comes in on this Grand Prix ride that he won, of course, last year in California with. Went so well too into the classes in Vancouver. Topped the 5-star Grand Prix there as well this season. And a lady who's topped the 5-star Grand Prix here in Atomia alongside me is Ashley Bond. Ashley, good evening.
Hey, Stephen.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Not quite Speed Day, sadly.
You know, it happens at show jumping. I made a mistake. My horse was absolutely flawless. He wanted to be clear today, and, you know, just came around that turn, and he kind of wasn't really looking, and I put a bit too much leg, and it was a bit deep, and then pushed him a little through the next one, so he finished good.
We've done the analysis, though. That's done.
Yeah.
Next one.
Perfect.
Next one. Move on to that. Now, just looking through your teammate in terms of Helios, Carl
Yes.
Cook is in there. Now, he was on the floor supporting you all yesterday. I'm guessing a few more Helioses are down there saying, OK, Carl, come on, it's your turn today.
100%. Eugenio was in the back helping me out, and, you know, Eugenio's coming up as well, so rooting for them always.
Absolutely. Jordan Coyle went very well earlier on today as well. Of course, he's been into several of those ride-offs with you for the Helios team for the gold medal in the teams. Interesting horse, Ariso, just has its own style, its way of going. It almost gets into the bottom and then but picks up 99% of the time. Absolutely right.
Yeah, no, you know, Jordan's masterful when it comes to riding this horse. I don't think many people could ride it. He has to really drop it. If you notice, he does not touch the reins, like at least a stride in front of the fence, because the horse needs that time to focus and load. And it gives a very beautiful jump. You know, and he's had a lot of success with it. So.
Yeah, and as you say, you look there, you see the hands go down.
Yeah, and
up
unfortunately,
it
he
comes.
had a rail there because it got a little too far away, I think.
But either way, you would watch that and conventionally go, okay, that's... What?
Again,
yeah.
The horse is struggling, actually. Maybe under the lights, it's jumping a little careful and a little high.
And that's the difference. Jumping under lights is a very different experience. You know, you get used to it in the winter months when I say winter, you're in the sunshine in Florida. From that point of view, that's one of the opportunities there. But I always know that it's a different style. It's different. There are different things come out of it, and different things that horses see under the lights.
100%. That's why there's only 4 clear so far, and it's a good group of horses in this class and riders. And you know, the horse, he just wasn't his night. You know, he peaked down a little bit at the Liverpool, which was, you know, the trick of the course. And you know.
You've ridden around this. You say the trick of the course there. What are we really looking out for? I know what I've seen so far. What has you riders been discussing down there?
Well, you know, it can be a 7 or a 6, inside 6, outside 7, depending on your stride and how your horse jumps the 4. But it's just 3 white rails with a Liverpool on the backside under the lights at the very end of the course. It requires rideability to get there properly and to not let your horse jump at it.
Yeah.
Or stick at it if they're a little spooky at the Liverpool. So it's always a trappy jump.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's go on with Alberto Misha and Nabal de Trevera, the 12-year-old for Abbey, who's already put a win behind him here this week. Olympic rider as he has been as well. Of course, he's a native originally of Mexico, riding under the flag of Israel, as you do. Superb rider. Exactly. Superb rider that he is. Big jump over the first. And for him, seeing him get a good success earlier on this week, he was delighted to be back here. But, you know, this is where his expertise come in.
Yeah, you know, this is a new partnership. They've been trying to work out the kinks, the rideability. The horse really can give a hard jump, you know, so we'll see. Hopefully they put it together tonight.
Yeah, came together earlier on this year, jumped in the Grand Prix at the American Gold Cup a few weeks ago.
That was too bad.
Plank there, 1 or 2 just having that. I was saying a little bit earlier on, it's something that comes up quite, you all got quite good at that now.
Well, I think in all fairness, you know, he built it on its own.
Yeah.
So it's not as trappy as if it's in a 4-stride or A of the triple. So we can kind of set it up perfectly. I think Abby tried to set it up really well, and the horse just kind of towed it. Otherwise, it's actually jumping a very nice round.
Back to this bright, to say the least, wall from that point of view. And then, but the key here is the way he's put that related line here.
Yeah.
This here, as you say, coming to that visa fence. I know when I was listening to Abby walking the course, there just unfortunately has the last there on the 873.86. But coming off that Oxford to that visa fence, you know, as he said, you just got to get inside and get there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. On a horse like Abby's horse, it's a very big stride, so he has no 7 option like I do. But, you know, his horse actually jumped that jump very well.
Yeah, and it's one that will keep coming.
Yep.
It is onto the 8 there. The clears so far, let's just run down those. Jacqueline Steffens, Carl Cook, Vanessa Mannix, and Nicholas Pizarro. Natalie Dean and Kota M. Another of the 9-year-olds in the field here. I say a few of those that are just getting a little bit more experience. Been interesting to see how some of those gone. Some have dealt with it. Well, again, it's a newer thing for some of those that will not have been under the lights, the likes of Wellington before. Now, of course, will be under the lights, I would assume, in a few weeks' time in California as well, just to make things a little bit different.
Yes, I like that. It's fun under the lights. Donnie thrives under the lights. I just didn't.
There's more thriving to come.
Yes. This mare is actually really cool. I know I saw her when she first got her, and it's come a long way. It's a really small horse. I think she's like 15.1, which Donnie's 15.3, and I think that's very small.
Yeah.
But, oh, she just had that rail. Looked like the mare just kind of didn't realize how big that was.
And again, as you say, she's small. It's a newer partnership, but actually they were 5th in the Grand Prix in Ottawa as well.
Yeah.
So they've got together. Just got a bit of head going down there.
Yeah, just jumped a little at it. I think Natalie maybe should have regrouped after the 4 a little bit more, but again, green partnership at this level, and so far they're handling it well.
Again, we can get a little bit hung up on, you know, size of horses, etc. I mean, again, this is a partnership that's coming. As I say, they were top 5 in the Grand Prix on the grass in Ottawa, but some of the great horses have been small horses as well.
Definitely. I'm all about small horses. And the mare's got a really big stride, so, and she's super scopy. And so far, they're having a very nice round. You know, a fault here and there, but not bad faults.
No.
Just green mistakes. The mare's handling it. It looks like she got into the course and is finishing beautifully.
And she'll come out of that better.
100%. Both of them, you know. Natalie's also a very young rider and green, and I think this is a really cool partnership to look forward to.
Yeah, puts a couple on for time, finishing on a score of 10.78.01 there for Natalie Dean and a Kota M from that point of view. 4 clears at the moment. Jack Steffens, Carl Cook, Vanessa Mannix, Nick Pizarro. What do you make of that?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think Vanessa's horse is only 9, so maybe that was, you know, maybe she wasn't going in there expecting to have a round like she would on her Katinka. Is that the name of
Yes.
her other one?
Yep.
But the horse jumped a phenomenal round. Nicholas Pizarro's horse is super, you know, he's jumped at Aachen and all the things, and Carl and Kalinka have been on fire winning in the Hamptons
Classic.
and all the things. And Jacqueline also coming back from Spruce Meadows really takes you to another level as a rider, and the horse obviously is thriving in the Gran.
And to say, you're on a team with Carl. It's lovely to see the camaraderie between them. Fabien Sajan, of course, I'm not going to ignore him, the Argentinian rider, with Temple, the 11-year-old, actually Mexican-bred horse for the Argentina. Again, Olympic experience for him. Of course, you were riding Donny that you rode in Tokyo last year as well. Back under the lights for some of that as well. Very different situation here. But for him, good start.
Yeah, definitely. It looks good. The horse looks like it's not super impressed. It looks relaxed out there. I like the way its ears are focused on the fence. You can kind of tell when a horse is enjoying its job out there. I think this one seems to be enjoying it so far. Oof, that got a little lucky there.
Yeah, 1 or 2 got into that triple bar and just got, you know, into the base and high at it.
Yeah, that triple bar, actually, Eugenio had told me to ride that, take it out and ride that pretty strong, because it was riding very big for some reason. And even Donnie I had to push there. He jumped pretty high, and so far he's clear. It's looking good. He got a good rub there, which can set you up nice for the rest of the course. Getting a little sticky in the corner.
And this is not necessarily the wall, it's, you know, say that fence that would be the struggle, but he's got there.
Yeah.
His time is in trouble, though.
Oh, and then he had that, one of the gimme jumps.
There we
That
go.
was too bad.
Finishing with time to add there is 4 for jumping, total of 10 because there's 6 to add in there for time, 82.19. But good in the early stages. And just as you say, he got to the wall there, lost the rhythm, and of course the time's then rolling away from you very, very easily.
Yeah, you know, I think it's a step, but you need to learn, I think at this level you need to learn how to be under the time allowed and not have faults, and, you know, it's just experience. But I think, you know, the time allowed is fair. He had it at 74, which I wouldn't have argued with, but I think 77 for it being under the lights and all the things, it makes the course more difficult. So
Manuel Gonzalez Dufresne and Martínez for the Mexican rider, 10-year-old Belgian-bred ride for him. He's been on, again, a bit of a crest of a wave because he was riding the key rounds in the Nations Cup in Barcelona a few weeks ago in the Challenge Cup.
And they won it, right?
They won it.
Yeah.
And he picked up €50,000 for jumping double clear.
Go fish.
Yeah, go fish. Go fish. He's known as Fish.
Yeah, I don't know
She's
him
not telling
by
me to
his
go
real
away and go fishing.
No, I don't even know him by his real name.
Somebody said to me yesterday, fishing. I'm like, yes, I know, but...
I don't know this horse. I mean, I think I've seen it once or twice, but I've never seen it in a big class.
Hortensia, he jumps, you know, in the big classes. Yeah, Martínez has had a little bit more exposure now as well for him. 1 or 2 have had that.
Worst. Having the first jump down is the worst. Watch, it's going to jump clear.
Well, I was going to say, the thing is actually for 4 faults at the moment, you're still in the money.
I know.
I mean, I talk about, you know, that gets into your mind, whatever it is.
Rail.
Okay, we can forget it out of your mind now from that point of view. I was going to say, do you then think, well, I mean, you naturally go pretty quick anyway.
Yeah, I don't change it usually because I'm at a really fast rhythm. But for a lot of people, they will, especially if you have an early rail. You know, it was unfortunate. The horse ticked the first jump, but then it jumped the next 2 quite well. But it seems like it's just getting hung up in the air a little bit, and that could be because of the lights. He's just a bit impressed. Doesn't really understand the height under the lights.
Yeah, I mean, finished well in the Grand Prix in Jalapa a week or so ago as well. From that point of view, top 3, and I say he's been a good horse for him.
I think he's going to retire.
Yeah, I think he's going to say that's that.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Oh,
is he? No, maybe not.
He was regrouping, which also I respect.
We respect both options.
Stay up, Fish. I mean, okay, if the oh no, now
No,
he's
now
retiring,
he's so we're respecting for both.
No, but actually
was the right thing to
the
do.
right thing to do because he didn't want to end on the horse hitting one. So then I think he got that nice line and said, okay, that's enough for tonight.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Just decided to call it a day there for him. Eugenio Garza coming up next with Contargo. Your man of the moment yesterday for the team competition. He was up there. Four fingers up there. 4 wins for your team so far this season.
So far.
He was, as they say, pumped.
He was very pumped. And he is dealing with a really bad back right now.
Ooh,
so
I know. I noticed he was sort of strapped up.
Oh, he really dug deep. I have to say he was zoned out, and that's why he was like, "Can you put me last, please? Because in case I really mess up, we at least are second." But he's a fighter. He brought it home, and let's hope it'll go well tonight.
Yeah,
love this horse.
Yeah, of course.
Star.
He went so well in Spruce Meadows at the Masters a few weeks ago in early September, finishing 4th place there in that massive Grand Prix there too. He's been again on very good form, been on winning teams before now for Mexico.
Yeah, he went to WEG with this horse, and the first day didn't go how he wanted, but I think after that, the next day was absolutely brilliant, and it's taken him to another level as a rider.
Yeah.
And mentally to another level. So, he should make easy work of this course. This horse should jump this no problem. I'm glad I didn't just jinx it.
It's always, trust me, always at that point you go, oh, they're going so well, and then donk.
Yeah.
But he does. He looks relaxed. He looks as though he can let it come.
Him. He just had the rail.
No, I didn't.
Steven.
Just said he looked relaxed.
I know, it was too relaxed. Ugh, that's a bummer.
Well. On the 4 at the moment.
Yeah. Definitely won't have time for it. He's
No.
quick. Even though this horse actually looks like he's going slow, his stride is so massive. He's gonna be quick. He'll I think he'll be faster than me.
Yeah, there we go. Finish on the 4:72.04. He is faster than you.
Yeah. See,
yeah.
Got a fast team.
Yeah, fast team. There you go. So he will go into 6th place from that point of view, and he will be picking up a bit of prize money on the way. Adds a little bit of sugar to the day, unfortunately. Unfortunately, just going to finish on the 4. Bliss Here's Antidote to Mars coming into our final 3 here. We have a strong 3 because she was 3rd in the Grand Prix here to you last year. In fact, we've got 2, I think, coming out. Got Richie Maloney. I think he's not coming. Okay. Bliss Here's Antidote to Mars. She put you under you had a bit of pressure last year because she was top 3.
Yeah, she was great last year.
Paul O'Shea was 2nd.
Yeah, he was. He didn't jump this tonight. No. So hopefully one of us that was podium last year makes the podium again.
Yeah,
cool.
We'll see. But, you've got your teammate, Carl Cook, in there.
Yeah, that's true. Be nice if both of them were up there.
Well, we could be at 5 or 6, so it's not going to be too hard to be into that group. You would hope. We will see.
Last year there was only 5 clear, so it looks to be about that.
Yeah.
She had a great round, 2 great rounds last night. The horse is in form.
She's knocking on wood. We're trying not to say things that then make us look like complete bobos when events down.
Exactly. They've been together a long time. He's jumped this height. He can jump this height in his sleep. They should have a good round here. He's such a good dude. Him and Donnie, actually, they both do always the same number of strides usually. Yeah. And
would you want to see if she'll do a swap?
I mean, we could do it for a day, but I feel like we both love our horses.
Yeah, we'll keep it as it is.
Ooh, got a little far, but not bad. She put some leg there. Ooh, kick.
Yep.
Good boy.
Get themselves out of trouble.
Don't do what I did. Nope, she didn't. That was beautiful. Easy. Come on.
Nicely done so far.
6.
Time will be all right.
Come on, Blissy. Yeah.
There we go.
So good.
75-45 will give another clear in the mix there. It's going to be 5 of those clears so far. Bliss, here's Antidote to Mars back in there. Chance to be on the podium once again.
Yeah, really good.
That's good stuff. I'll get a big kiss.
Yeah, that was a beautiful round. He made easy work of that. She rode great. And hopefully they can bring it home in the jump off.
We will see. It's looking good so far.
It is.
It is going to be a tough one to win.
It is.
Carl Cook.
Carl on Kalinka.
I think
so
Carl's
fast.
going to set some real pace in there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not. It's a 5-star Grand Prix, and he won his first 5-star this year at the Hamptons. So why not make it 2 in one year?
Once you get the taste for it.
It's so true.
Yeah, you had a pretty good year as well.
Yeah.
Rolex Grand Prix in Wellington as well.
Not bad.
Not bad. Take
Hopefully
that one.
It's still gonna do something.
Keep going up on that
exactly.
that trend.
We got Connor coming in. No.
Yeah.
This is a young horse, actually. It's only 9 up.
Yes. Nadal, Hero, and DB, Belgian bred horse by Cannon. There we go.
Beautiful chestnut.
We're saving the world number 5 to the last.
Only? It's amazing. He got up, in the rankings because of Major League. Had a lot to do with it, and it's just really cool to see that. We're able to do that.
I would say from him, and I was talking to him about it a little bit earlier on in the year, there's 2 things that come in here. One, he's got his best string of horses around him right now that he's had for a long time.
For sure.
He's confident. He won the World Cup the other day in Sacramento and went in there, won for a second, and has just gone everywhere now and just comes in like, I've got this.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he's always been an incredible rider, talent, one of the best, Irish riders, but always been one of the best riders in the world. Now he just happens to be up in the rankings.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see. You can do it not just from Europe.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. There's development of more shows across, Mexico, across Canada, across the USA. And I was saying a little bit earlier on, this is one of the shows here. Okay, we go to Monterey too as part of Major League, but if you put that aside as well, there's a long string of good shows here in Mexico, and they're on some beautiful facilities.
Yeah, they do. They do know how to put on a really great event. This place is absolutely stunning. The footing is wonderful. That was too bad. So
Swale's not going to be in the reckoning.
He won't be, and there'll only
Bliss will
be.
go
And I
last.
think I don't know if he's regrouping. I think he's regrouping.
Yeah.
Like I said, this horse is young, so I think now it's more for experience to just put the round in and finish on a good note. The horse looks lovely to ride, actually.
And that's the thing. Like, he's got this one coming through.
Yeah.
Count me in. He's won a lot with Vital Chance. But again, talking to him in the season, it's he's been able. The good thing being having a number of horses to do it. He's been able to space them out as well from that point of view.
Yeah, but you can see he's now going. He's going to have time faults because he's teaching this horse. He went out. He got really wide to the triple bar. He went out, got really wide to the wall, but. Okay, after he had the rail, I think that was his goal, was to finish on a good note for the horse, and that's an example of horsemanship.
You and I sitting here would sit there and go, that looks nice.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, and that's a good teaching session. You've had
100%.
So here are the clears going through. Nicholas Pizarro of Mexico. It's Vanessa Mannix of Canada with Kingston. Carl Cook of the USA, Kalinka. Jacqueline Steffens of Canada and Freaky. And USA again in there with Bliss. Here's Antidote to Mars. I see 2 of those logos for Helios in there as well.
It's so cool.
Bliss going last.
Yes.
That helps things a little bit for her.
For sure. I think, I don't know. Vanessa's horse is young, so I would assume she'll probably go more for a careful clear. And Jacqueline also is learning to go faster, so it'll be interesting to see how, she tests that.
Yeah.
Bliss, Carl's definitely on the fastest horse of the group, but Nicholas is very, very fast, and he's very seasoned as a 5-star rider.
And as we were talking a little bit earlier on, that horse has very few rails.
Yeah.
Very few rails.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. Lovely to be here in Atomi for the 5-star of Major League Show Jumping, but they also have another competition coming up next year as well, because they're delighted to say they're going to be hosting the Mexican stage of the Nations Cup, and we have a little video.
distancia de 300 metros, tiempo de 48 segundos.
Queremos robarles un momento de su atención, ya que el comité organizador, encabezados por su presidente, el señor Daniel Gran, quiere reconocer a unas personas que hicieron posible el gran concurso. Gracias a ellos se pudo llevar a cabo este CSI 5 estrellas y no quiere dejar pasar este momento para agradecerles ese esfuerzo que hicieron, que hoy se ve plasmado en este gran concurso. Primeramente, queremos darle un reconocimiento al licenciado Luis Eduardo Arreola, director de la agencia de GNP Seguros, Grupo Asesores RAM, gran patrocinador de este CSI 5 estrellas. Ahora queremos agradecer toda la ayuda brindada por el licenciado Mauricio Trejo, presidente municipal de San Miguel Allende. De igual manera queremos agradecer al señor Sergio Nieto, sponsor ya de mucho tiempo de este concurso. El siguiente reconocimiento es para un pilar, un fundador de este concurso, siempre ayudando para que cada vez salga mejor, el señor Mario Oñate. muchas gracias por toda tu ayuda para este concurso. Ahora vamos con las personas de la liga, las que nos traen a México este concurso. King White y Matt Morrissey. También queremos reconocer a Diana Patterson. Otro sponsor que ha hecho posibles varias ediciones de Otomí, el señor Alejandro Martín del Campo. El señor Alejandro Martín del Campo, muchas gracias por ese esfuerzo enfocado aquí al CSI 5 estrellas de Otomí. Me dicen que ya llegó el licenciado Mauricio Trejo, presidente municipal de San Miguel de Allende, al que le debemos una gracias muy grande, ya que nos da todas las facilidades y tiene maravilloso este pueblo mágico de San Miguel de Allende, la sede de este CSI 5 estrellas. Banorte, el gran sponsor ecuestre representado en esta ocasión por Marco representa a la familia Hank, que tanto apoyo da a este deporte. A quien hace posible este concurso, el que está atrás de todo, Francisco Tello. Muchas gracias, sin él somos nada. Y todo esto no será posible sin un gran capitán del deporte ecuestre. Nuestro presidente, el señor Juan Manuel Cosío, timonel del deporte ecuestre en México, que lo ha llevado a este nivel 5 estrellas. Muchas gracias a todos. En verdad este es un pequeño reconocimiento al gran esfuerzo que hacen para lograr este CSI 5 estrellas. Muchas gracias a todos. En verdad, en nombre de Daniel Ricán y todo el comité organizador, se los agradecemos. Continuamos con el desempate. Queremos conocer al ganador de este CSI 5 estrellas. Gracias a todos. Mientras viene el primer jinete, los queremos dejar con el video una sorpresa para todos. Una sorpresa de la nueva sede del CSIO México para el 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are all set to go here for the exciting conclusion of this illustrious Grand Prix FEI 5-star presented by Major League Show Jumping.
Well, also to go into the jump-off of this GNP Seguros Atomi Grand Prix here this evening. 5 combinations coming up for you. Nicholas Pizarro of Mexico will lead off for the home nation with Groves Enkidu. Vanessa Mannix, Kingston for Canada. 2 for Canada in here, 2 for the USA as well. Carl Cook being one of those with Kalinka. And it is also going to see Bliss Here's there with Antidote de Mars. Just getting the news, I think Nick Pizarro's horse has thrown a shoe. So whether we delay or whether we will be coming in a moment, but it gives me a chance to talk to Ashley Bond, who is alongside me. Winner of the Grand Prix here last year as well. You've got family watching as well at home.
I do. Shout out to Uncle Dylan and the fam. Love you guys.
There you go. We knew we'd get it in. We knew we'd get it in. I've raved a bit this week about the footing here as well on this beautiful grass arena. What do you guys make of it?
Yeah, the footing was incredible. It was exactly the same last year, which is nice. So consistency is key. The ring is really big. Not Spruce Meadows big, but it's quite large. It rides very well, but it is a little tricky because there are hills to it.
Yeah.
Which makes the jumps ride a little bit, you have to be aware, which I find in jump-offs, actually. You have to be a little careful with. Coming to the double, actually, you're going to be coming on a downhill, so you have to be a little more careful of I believe. So, but I find that the horses jump beautifully on this field. They really fly. And the lighting is great, actually.
Well, actually, that gives me a chance then. While we have chance, let's talk the jump-off. Where are we going? What are we doing?
Yeah, so we're going to start on the far side. I believe that was fence 3, the Aero Mexico Oxer.
Yeah.
They ramped it, which is really nice because you can just get a really fast run at it and just not really worry about the front rail so much. I would come a little bit past my center line, so I'm angled left to right. So I'm then looking at fence 4B, the vertical, which was part of the ox vertical combination. You're going to want to slice that right to left because then you're going to come over to BC of the triple combination. You know, these are big sweeping turns, so you can really take a good run at these and then set up last minute. I think you can have a good left to right slice on the vertical oxer, take a bit of a risk there, which it's set a bit far back, so it'll give you enough time to the vertical, which will be the Visa number 12. It still has the Liverpool underneath it. You still have to be a little bit cautious there. But there's no jump before it, so you can kind of set that up properly. The 5, everyone should be doing the 5. It's putting you into the wall, which I think will slow the horses down a little, so you want to keep your leg because then they're going to know they're turning right. And then that's really from 13 back on 15 is the only true, I would say, rollback where there's nothing stopping you from making it as tight as you want.
And as you say, you're going to come down that final line again. Is there a little bit in the horse that says, oh, we're done, I've been here before?
Possibly, for sure, because it's exactly the same last line as they just did, and all of these horses are quite smart. So I think you really need to keep your leg over the top of the GNP. You can take a little bit of a risk aiming to the right, but with leg. And then really tight roll back. I didn't walk the line there because I don't walk jump-offs, but it looks to me like a 6-ish.
Hang on. I'm going to come back to that one in a second.
It looks like a 6 or 7. Yeah, I think you can take a nice run at the last. It looks a little bit rampy, and then fly home.
I'm going to go back on that.
Yeah.
You said I don't walk jump-offs.
No, I don't walk jump-offs.
Why?
Never.
Why?
It's bad luck. Not tonight, it wasn't. But no, you know, I'm all about riding. I like to ride off my feel.
Yes.
And my horse turns really well. And actually, on any horse, I don't walk jump-offs. I just ride off of my feel.
Yeah.
I just pick a rhythm.
Nothing wrong in that.
Yeah. I don't know. Even in a line, like I might say, oh, what'd you walk there? Like to someone down.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, it was a 6. It was a forward 6. Oh, okay. You know,
Okay.
like.
Yeah.
But I think if you're doing this level, you should be good enough to just wing it. So
And be able to go, this is the spot I need to be in.
Yeah.
And again, and that's the thing, again, you know, talking about a top rider's brain and the way you work. You know, how much of it, as you say, is you would do on feel, you say you do it on feel. The ability to be riding down, doing everything you're doing and going, okay, I'm coming down on 7. Can you process all of that all the time?
Like if I'm thinking about the numbers?
Yeah.
I don't think about numbers.
No.
I don't count really.
Yeah.
Like I kind of just
But
walk.
does it, you know, are some better than that than others, or is it really difficult to do from that point of view?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on the person. Like Connor Swill counts from every jump through every corner, and that would just make my brain explode.
But he's world number 5, and it works.
He is, and McLean. I don't think McLean counts between like rollbacks, unless it's a jump off. But he's also big on counting. I find for me personally, if I count, it takes me out of the moment and out of what I'm feeling my horse doing, and then I end up just riding the numbers instead of what's happening underneath me and what my eyes and my legs and the horse is telling me. So,
and if you're in any sport, I think, and it doesn't matter whether it's show jump, it's golf, it's tennis, whatever, we're always talking about getting in a zone, getting almost that. You know, and those of us that have done any sport to any kind of level, you almost feel a little bit detached.
Yeah, when I'm counting, I'm totally detached.
But when you're under the pressure...
Oh, but you're saying when you're in the zone, you feel like you're... Like
you're just totally focused on that. And people start talking about pressure and all sorts of things. It's like, well, actually, you almost don't.
No, you don't feel the pressure. Well, I mean, maybe some do. But
it almost becomes a bit out of body, if you like.
For sure. Yeah. I find that... I don't know, I'm a very happy and laughing and type of person always, and I can do that until I'm getting into the ring, and then I get in the zone, like you're saying, and it's just me and the horse out there. And I think a lot of the people, you know, that do this at the top sport, you would hope that they also have that experience. But yeah, it's a really unique feeling to have that zone. It's not tunnel vision, but it's like everything else is just...
It's almost acquired.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you become a secret assassin.
Well, we're secretly not assassinating.
No.
As I say, we've got a little bit of a hole because Nick's horse has thrown a shoe. He's actually still going to come first. They're just putting that on at the moment. So we're just going to throw to some commercials
he's going first.
We're going to throw to some commercials for a
Yeah,
moment or two, and then we'll be back because we could talk. We can talk all evening.
Yes.
Catch these for a minute, and thank you to a few of our sponsors, and we will be back in a few moments. Well, up we come, and there we go, riding up into the crown. Up to the top of the ground, there is going to be Nicholas Pizarro to start us off. The Mexican rider is going to be riding with a whole arena of people riding on his shoulders here with Oak Grove's Enkidu. We talked about it a little bit earlier on with Hannah. This horse rarely has a pole. It really is an impressive one to watch. I'm going to be excited to see this one go first.
I'm excited to see it. You know, Nicholas is very fast, and he's going first. So for me, you know, you really try and lay it down when you go first. And again, there's only 5 in the jump off, so everyone comes out today, honestly, doing really well.
Yeah.
You get a good paycheck, so I think even then you risk a little bit more.
And that's the thing. You can be, as you say, almost... comfortable position is the wrong word, but you know, you get into a jump off, there's 3 of you in it, like it was at the American Gold Cup.
Fun.
It's like, come on, let's go, because whatever we do, we walk away with a good check. I want to win.
Of course you want to win.
But I'll risk it a bit.
100%.
I'm not going to suddenly finish up with nothing.
No, and I always say when we're going into jump offs and it's a small jump off, like amount of people, I'm like, oh, this is the fun part. Like this is just, you just get to go run super fast and fly.
But it's nice to hear professional sport is fun.
It is fun. I'm always having fun, even when I don't win.
Okay, here we go. Long run up here as you were talking about.
Yeah, he was a little slow to start, in my opinion, and there he had
go.
a rail. He knew something we didn't.
But that's the thing. He's got that yellow vertical there. It's a little bit of a road bump going up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Back here, this was the line you were talking about. What was the final line?
Yes. You know, his horse jumped that really well. Okay, but his horse is jumping very careful. He's hanging up a little bit in the air, and he jumped that line quite well.
Back to the Archangel fence at the cathedral in town.
So
and
it's a 7, tight 7. Maybe someone could do 6.
Okay,
maybe.
Finishing on the 4:35.39 for Nicholas Pizarro, starting us off with Oak Grove's Enkidu.
Yeah.
A little bit difficult going first as well. Got to get a long run off there. He knows he's got someone like Carl Cook that's going to come in and go up there like flight line going across the arena.
Yeah, but I mean, Nicholas is usually a lot faster than that. So maybe he wasn't trying, you know, maybe he felt like his horse was a little tired.
You've got to go with whatever's happening on the day.
You got to go with you feel.
Yeah.
That's why I don't count.
That's why you don't count. Just tell me it's 6 or 7.
Do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want down there. Vanessa Mannix, 9-year-old Kingston for the British bred ride for Vanessa. We've just been talking about the fact, you know, 9-year-old, how much she'll push this one. we'll see. But what we've got to focus on is how well they went in the first round too.
Yeah, and he's like very playful. You can tell he's enjoying himself out there. He's fresh. He's leaping. I think he's naturally like a quick mover. It looks like I watched his round from the video monitor.
Yeah.
But he jumped a beautiful first round, and it looks like she's just kind of letting him go at his rhythm. It's not like she's not running, but she's also not going slow. He's jumping beautifully, and she's riding really well. She's being smart, putting in a nice solid round. I don't think they have a lot of experience at this level. Okay.
No, and that's the thing. And you know, you get the confidence from the first round, and as you say, you just want to find that balance between how much you push and how much you go, this is within our faster but comfort zone that we can keep it. And that was very nicely done. 36.05. When Nick Pizarro was running 35.39, as you say, I think there's space in there. But you'd be happy with that.
Yeah, for sure. She's very happy with that. The horse is very happy with that. He looks like he could go another couple rounds, which is always a great feeling after jumping a 5-star. He just can't stop playing.
And Carl's horse would do a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, she's a leaper.
She's a leaper.
She's a leaper. He had me ride her. He said, don't you think it'd be fun to come ride her? And he had me ride his big chestnut one that he used to have, the slow one.
Yes,
what was his name?
It's going to come to me in a minute.
Yes,
I know
but
what you
he
mean.
had me ride. I could barely trot.
Yeah.
I literally was pony kicking, and he was hysterically laughing. And then he had me get on this one.
Yeah.
And she is so strong and really hot. Luckily, she did no leaping.
Yeah.
I think he will, if it was me, and I think he's really good at this, after the 5 on the side, he's going to jump the cathedral and shape the 7 is what. So to make, that is my... Because otherwise you're going to, if you get too straight, the 7 is going to be really steady and it's going to take away from your time.
Yeah. Okay, Carl Cook and his winning combination from the Hampton Classic. Earlier this year, as you say, they got their first 5-star Grand Prix win behind them there.
See, that was smart. See how we stayed to the right side.
Got that one out of the way.
He also, I mean, the way he rides her is he thinks slow with her because she's so fast. I think if he was to say go fast,
go,
she would be too fast.
You almost, your feet get ahead of you.
Yeah. She's jumping beautifully. Let's see what he does here. Stays to the right. Perfect. Looks. Let's see if he angles or he gets straight.
Time-wise, he's very
2,
good.
3, 4. But see how steady that got
Yeah,
for him?
exactly.
It was beautiful. He was 34.13.
34.13 and takes a couple of seconds off and into the lead for Carl Cook and Kalinka van Zorgvliet. So it might be a doubled-up Helios win because it was you last year.
Yeah.
Your teammate now is in the lead.
Yes.
34.13.
You've
still got another team.
Smart round.
Yeah, exactly. Take me through what you talked about that last round again.
Yeah, you know, I think he kind of saw something that he ended up just going for and kicking for.
Yeah.
And the mare ended up jumping a bit to the right.
Yeah.
So it straightened out the line, and then he had to hold up a bit. I think on a horse like Bliss's horse, he's really good at shaping things like Donnie. So I think if she puts the bend, she can keep her revs up really fast. That's what I would do. And I think his time is definitely beatable. I think he was fast, but he didn't lay it flat out.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see how Jackie does here.
Absolutely, Jacqueline Steffens and Freaky for the Eye Candy team. I hate to use the word rivals of yours, but
Rivals,
I mean they won the championship last year.
Know.
And they went very like
make a rival.
But they went like you. They won, you know, you won what 4 stages. It was very similar to last year.
Oh, first jump down. That's a bummer. But she can keep going because Nick had a rail and she can be faster. So she could be top 4 if, you know, she keeps the pace. But she needs to be quick because Nick was deceivingly quick. He was
when you start to look at it,
yeah, he was 1.2 behind Carl, but it wasn't slow. No, she pulled another rail. They need more practice at this. You know, I don't think they've done many jump offs at this level, but this is how you learn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it keeps coming. It's going to be 3 down, unfortunately, a total of 12 at 35, 33. But more and more of those good first rounds coming down to put you in this situation.
Yeah, for sure. And what's nice is there's only 5 minutes. So worst case, she's 5th, and she still has a nice day.
Bliss here is going to go last. Antidote to Mars. Now, she's got a
Yeah.
little bit more experience than this. She was top 3 in this last year.
Yes.
She was top 3 in a
She's
5-star
never
Grand
won a
Prix.
5-star Grand Prix.
I know. It was interesting last year because she said to me that was her best finish in a 5-star.
And then she did another third this year at
Yes.
GCT Valkenspar.
Yes, and she was
third.
in Wellington as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I love Carl, and I love both my teammates equally.
Carl, get out of the way.
But Carl's won a 5-star, so I'm gonna say 0.01% more that I want Bliss to.
And I mean,
to be
she's,
first.
we've seen her, whether it was Nations Cup jumping brilliant rounds, they've just been, don't want to jinx it today, but they've been so consistent throughout.
I'm
there.
knocking on wood right now.
Touch on
Steven is not jinxing you.
Yeah,
Blissy.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to make it positive.
Actually, this course should suit him the best because it's actually looks to be more for a smaller strided horse, and you can keep the gears. 2, 3, 4. See how she can keep the rhythm up more than Carl looked, because Carl was slowing down a little. Come on. Come on, Blissy. Get up. Go. Come
Still
on.
good.
Go. I don't know what the split time. Do we even have that?
It's pretty close
1,
between them. She
2,
may be a
3,
fraction up,
4.
actually.
Get up. Come on. Turn. Turn.
What's she got to beat?
Angle. Yes. Good
34-13.
2, 3, 4. See how she kept up? She's going to win.
There you go. There we go. Gets home
Told
33-32.
you.
First 5-star Grand Prix
Yeah,
win.
baby.
There you go. So, Bliss Hears and Antidote to Mars will be a winner of the GNP Seguros Grand Prix.
She's
Look at
crying.
that. She's absolutely delighted with that.
Oh, I'm so
Wow.
happy for her. Okay, Carl also 2. So 1-2. Helios was 1-2. He can't be mad at me for rooting a little bit more for Bliss just because she's never won a 5-star. And I'm so happy for her. She really has been working so hard.
Oh,
her
look at
and
her.
her dad,
She's
hysterically
absolutely
crying, and I'm so happy for her.
delighted. Absolutely delighted.
Look
We
at that.
are delighted for you. There's the final result. Bliss Hears wins with Antidote
Almost
to
a
Mars.
second.
Yeah, almost a second.
It really suited, I was saying, it really suited a smaller strided horse tonight. She could keep his rhythm up much faster than Carl could because his mare stride was much bigger, so he was slowing down in every line. He had to slow down.
Whereas she's got that little bit shorter stride.
So she could keep him going.
Keep go.
Yeah.
Carl Cook finishes in second. Kalinka, that's not a bad one for them at all.
Nope,
That's very good
great.
indeed. As I say, coming on the back of that 5-star win earlier on the season. Little Helios, you've had a good week.
Yeah, very
Yes,
good.
very good week. Vanessa Mannix finishing in third for Canada Kingston. Really nice result for her as well.
Yeah, very. The horse jumped beautifully. I think she made a really smart ride. It's a young horse. They're new at this level, and she, went for a nice clear and ended up third, podium.
Nick Pizarro of Mexico finishes in fourth place. Best of the home nation with Oak Grove's Enkidu. Jacqueline Steffens in fifth in the end with Freaky. And those in the money again this year. He was last year too. Federico Fernandez of Mexico. Davidoff into sixth. Seventh for your other teammate, Eugenio Garza.
I was the loser teammate tonight. I was 13th. I was right out of the money.
13th. Unlucky.
Unlucky.
Lily Keenan there makes a debut onto Major League into 8th place. Dara Kenny just behind that into 9th. So Lily gets ahead there of those two. And Rodrigo Lamre completing the top 10. Ashley Bond, thank you very, very much. I enjoyed as ever, but I prefer seeing you out there.
Me too. Me too. But I'm so happy.
But if you're ever done out there, come and pop in here.
Always.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
We will see you in Monterey.
Yes.
I guess.
I'll be there.
Yeah, we're going to have to take a week off. We're going to go and relax, do
I'm going
something.
to Florida, not relax.
I'm not
going
relaxing.
to work.
I'm going to Washington. So neither of us are relaxing. But we will be back from Monterey and look forward to that. Ashley Bond, thank you very much. Win for Antidote to Mars and Bliss Hears for the USA. Congratulations. Presentation and excitement and entertainment on its way.
Ándale. ¿Te pareces a tu compañero que tienes allá?
From USA, please cheers.
Mira, mijo, qué suavidad, mira nada más. Y sin control. ¿Se las apagara? Y hace rato no la dio, ¿verdad? Sophie. Güey, se sienta hasta acá lo caliente.
Y le vamos a pedir al público que nos acompaña se ponga de pie para entonar el himno nacional de Estados Unidos en honor a la ganadora Please Cheers.
¿Quién? Ahí está abajo con ellos.
Vamos a nuestro tradicional brindis, festejando a los ganadores Please Cheers y Vanessa Manitos.
Avísame si te turno, Simón. ¿Tú estás bien? Eso, guacha. Tú también sabes, tú cambias la toma, buena, ¿eh? Estoy bien emocionado. Mira, agarran mi toma. Simón, agarra mi toma. Ah.
¡Bravo, bravo, bravo!
¿Cómo?
¡Bravo!
Listo, ya. Ah, se traigo los inalámbricos.
Agradecemos a Luis Eduardo Arriola, a Daniel Riján, al licenciado Mauricio Trejo Pureco, al señor Mohamed Alcawari, al señor Jorge Aros, al señor Francisco Tello de Meneses, al señor Mario Oñate, al señor Matt Morrissey y al señor Kian White por acompañarnos en la premiación de este gran premio patrocinado por GNP Seguros. Iniciamos mañana la pista 1 y 2 a las 11 de la mañana.
Si yo fuera de las pistas y me hubieran corriendo como chango, mira.
We have a new leader right now.
¿Quién sabe si me quedo a grabar algo aquí? Tú ya, Uriel, lo tuyo no es tan importante. Esa tomas de allá. ¿Con quién? ¿De quién es la pantalla que está aquí en el JP, una grandota? Órale. Sí, yo quiero. Deja, voy para allá. Estoy al pendiente aquí, muchachos, de las tomas, para ti. La chela. Mira el Toño, pues sí sirve, sí, todo eso chingamos para pistear. ¿Por qué no le dice que no? Pensé que te habían llevado. Bye. Entonces, sí, ya. Le avientas el proceso a ver si lo puede, porque está bien débil. ¿Sí? Ya.